This week we're going to highlight weather conditions in Argentina, where some of the double crop beans could still benefit from moist weather. However, harvest is now actually increasing there, so more of the beans would benefit from drier weather. We're also going to focus on U.S. weather conditions as early soybean planting takes place, and we're going to wrap things up looking at the highest price ever for November soybean futures for mid-April. Hi, this is Brian Bastine with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We've moved into the middle of April here, and there's certainly a lot going on worldwide. We're going to start out this week focusing on Argentina. Now in Argentina, we're looking at two different scenarios taking place. The double crop beans will still benefit from some rainfall down there, and also see early harvest for the full season beans. So kind of a divergent trend there. But let's take a look first at where those beans are grown in Argentina. We'll start out looking at these three major provinces, Buenos Aires, Cordoba, and Santa Fe. That's about 80% of the beans in Argentina. Now looking at the rainfall forecast for the next 14 days, and here's the key message. Harvest is about 10% done nationwide. So the double crop beans, which are primarily produced following the wheat harvest in the south, those would still benefit from some moisture. However, you can see here that slightly dry conditions over the next 14 days, so maybe not an ideal finish for those double crop beans. Moving further north, however, that is where the harvest in the core area is taking place. Actually, very dry conditions in those areas, which would be beneficial for harvest. So there's still some question marks about the size of that Argentina bean crop. So we'll see what the USDA tells us in May, but this crop is still being determined from what these last few weeks will hold weather-wise. Let's switch gears now to the U.S. soybean planting progress. Now, it's not too early to talk about soybean planting here in the U.S. And most of it's taking place, of course, down there in the Delta in the south. We won't get a nationwide soybean planting progress update for a couple weeks, but nevertheless, it's still important to look at the weather trends here in the U.S. as producers gear up for that time period. So we're going to look at the past precip totals for the last 30 days, more of a proxy for subsoil moisture, if you will. Across the entire Midwest as well as the Delta, mostly normal to slightly wet conditions. The wettest areas you can see here are in Michigan, southern Wisconsin, parts of Illinois. A little bit wet in the south also, needless to say, after all the moisture they've had down there. In contrast, it's a bit drier in that western Corn Belt, parts of Nebraska, South Dakota, and it is dry on this map in North Dakota. However, that is being changed as we speak here with a blizzard conditions this week, Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday across North Dakota. They're actually going to be snowbound up there for quite some time, which is going to improve that moisture situation. That's highlighted here in the precip forecast for the next 7 days. Notice in North Dakota, extremely heavy amounts here. They're talking up to 2 feet of snow up in North Dakota. Also continued wet conditions down in that Delta area, which may slow that soybean planting pace, as well as any early soybean planting that had been intended for the eastern Corn Belt. On a percentage basis here, we're looking at the wettest area again up in North Dakota. North Dakota is a critical state, of course, here when we talk about soybean production. But we do have quite a bit of time here before that window closes, needless to say. As we move further south, however, it is going to be wet once again down in that Delta region, which may continue to slow early soybean planting down there. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in November soybean futures. Now, we looked at this before, but it bears repeating. At $15.05, November soybean futures for 2022 are the highest level ever for November futures for this time of year. So once again, we strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Hope you have a happy Easter.